This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media, sponsors of the 2024 Natural Resources Investment Symposium in Boca Raton, Florida, July 7 through 11. Whether you attend live or via live stream from the comfort of your own home, we will give you more programming than you can possibly absorb, between 50 and 60 hours over 4 days. To that end, we'll have recordings of the conference available, which you can and should refresh your memory with. To that end, too, we are going to interview every exhibitor and every speaker before the conference so that you can allocate your time more efficiently, coming to understand the issuers even before the conference, contacting them before the conference or during the conference. Note, too, that every public company exhibitor at the conference has been vetted, meaning that I own every public company exhibitor, either in my personal accounts or in accounts that I have interest in and manage. Today, we continue that progress. I'm interviewing Gilbert Clark, who I've known for a long time in various mining incarnations. He is the CEO of Meridian Mining. Gilbert, thank you for decades of effort on behalf of natural resource investors, including myself. And thank you, too, for your support for the Natural Resources Investment Symposium. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Rick. I'm very pleased to be able to attend this year and also to reach out to the investment community.
Give us the sort of 10,000-meter overview of Meridian before we hone in. Tell us what it is you're about, what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, well, Meridian is a TSX issuer. We're an English company, and we're developing a VMS district scale asset in Brazil called Cabaçal. This was an asset that got lost in time. It was originally owned by a company called BP Minerals. Then they sold it to Rio Tinto, who put it into the library of assets. Then we recently picked it up. So what we are acquiring is really a 50 kilometers of copper, gold, silver VMS system that has had over 70,000 meters of historical drilling. We've done another 50,000 meters of historical drilling, and we are advancing this project now to the PFS stage.
For investors unlike myself, those that have a life outside mining, talk about VMS being the catch-all for volcanogenic massive sulfides. Talk to us about the traditional product mix, and in particular, the grades and profitability of VMS systems worldwide. Tell us why VMS is important.
VMS as a project are very important because they've always, they're lower capex, and they go for many decades. We can think of Flin Flon as the classic Canadian example. And because they've always started at open pits, generally they can be brought into production very quickly. So, for instance, the economics of Cabaçal, where I think our MPV is some 560 million after-tax USD with an IRR of about 58%, with a payback period in under a year. So what this reflects has always been the traditional economics that is very affordable for a junior company to bring into production.
So let's go a little bit deeper into those numbers. Give us again the net present value and do it relative to the market cap. In other words, what are you paying as an investor for what you get?
Okay, well, the project, I'll make sure I give the correct numbers for you now, otherwise I get into all sorts of trouble. The MPV of the project is some 500 million USD post-tax and MPV 5. IRR 58%, payback in 11 months. Most importantly, we're using long-term commodity prices of $1,650 for gold per ounce and $359 for copper. This is it's very important for these type of projects. But in today's very positive commodity prices, that a project also works in the lower price range.
And your market cap, or your approximate market cap?
Approximate market cap at the moment is some 165 million Canadian. We have approximately 300 million shares outstanding. We recently completed a capital raise, a bought deal financing at the raise some 20 million Canadian dollars. It was probably 95% institutional, and now today our share register, it's a mix of about 60% of high net worth individuals and institutional investors, international. We have several blue chip investors in the stock now. So what we look at is very much the long-term game of bringing this into production. And one of the benefits of being in Brazil is the permitting atmosphere there is incredibly quick. We've all seen how in the world it can take 10, 15 years to get a mine built. In the last couple of years in Brazil, we've seen several mines built and permitted in under 5 years, which is a reflection of the, the reflection of the integrated licensing procedure of Brazil.
Tell us, because of the apparent bargain valuation between the market capitalization and the net present value, what it is that you're trying to do that will add value for shareholders in the next 12 to 18 months. What are the unanswered questions that you're answering? What's the progress that you need to make? How are you adding value? What are the catalysts, if you will, in the next 12 to 18 months to move it forward?
Well, I think it's most important is we generate more robust numbers. In respect, it was a PEA, so there's a lot of skepticism in the PEA. Certainly, our capex figure of 180 million USD, including contingency, we want to make that much more clearer via the pre-feasibility study. We're upgrading the resource because what we intend to do is remove, as you have to, remove all of the inferred material from the resource statement. And that's a very key part of the drilling. Confirm the absolutely fantastic metallurgy. Rick, I can quite openly say that we have the VMS peer metallurgy for this project. I've never seen this in some 25 years of auditing and reviewing mining projects in the world, just how good this metallurgy is. And we want to do the repeatability testing to confirm that. Also, how in the PEA, the life of mine revenue was some 2.9 billion USD. Now, what we want to see is how that life of mine revenue comes with the pre-feasibility study. At the same time, because VMS are not just one deposit, they're a cluster of deposits. So what we're doing now is we're drilling at our second deposit, which is St. Helena. So we want to deliver a resource on that. And our target there is an upward target of about 760,000 ounces of gold equivalent. And we have a whole series of other projects and prospects, I should say, that have been already identified that we want to go through and test in coming through in this year.
That's very important for our audience to understand. To quote that famous explorationist Muhammad Ali, with VMS deposits, they throw punches in bunches. There's seldom one. So really the value proposition here is a valuation of one deposit established by the PEA, upgrading that to a PFS so that you get a better sense, a finer sense of the net present value, while at the same time amortizing that development expense over more than one deposit. Is that a correct summary, if you will?
Yeah, it's very interesting. You've hit it on the head there. The one caveat I'll put in is we actually, because Cabaçal is that standalone deposit for the entire belt, all the subsequent deposits, like say St. Helena, they don't have to carry the capex of the mill because we pay back the mill in 1 year. So what we're doing in the feasibility study, pre-feasibility study, is we're also taking the initial throughput from 2.5 up to 4.5 million tonnes. And this greater throughput can be fed quite easily by that single deposit, but also by the other deposits that are all within trucking distance of this central, hub and spoke development we're doing at Cabaçal.
A well thought out and, from my point of view, sensible plan. Gilbert, thank you for 3 decades of effort for natural resource investors, myself and Sprott included. Thank you, too, for your ongoing support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium. Who at Meridian should investors contact if they want to learn more, and how do they reach this person?
Look, the simplest way is just to email at info@meridianmining.co. This comes directly to me, and I respond to all emails that come to me. My name's Gilbert Clark. It's very easy. I'm on all the press releases, but certainly just the email. This is the one to come to me. We're also on Twitter at Meridian Mining. I always respond to any queries on that as well.
That's always the best answer, Gilbert. The CEO wants to know his shareholders, wants to work for his shareholders. So I thank you for that as well. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.